Hello everyone, my name is Kyle. This is channel Onward, and I would like to introduce you to Yo or No. Now some of you might be asking what Yo or No is. Back in the day of my youth, in the time before the internet, it was really hard to figure out what kind of games we wanted. Now you could beg your mom to buy you some gaming magazines, that way you could get some info. And of course there was the all-important staple of millennial childhood, Blockbuster. But later down the road, there were demo discs. Some gaming companies put coveted demo discs in their magazines, given out with pizza, bundled with games that companies wanted you to buy, or sometimes just when you pre-ordered a game. The point was that these discs were the gateway of finding out if a game would be good. In fact, I remember going to a friend's house when I was a little Kairu. He turned on a demo that had a dude with a big sword, and the characters would do attacks and magic and summon dragons? And yes, this is where I developed my love for Final Fantasy VII. I quite can't tell if that's the only love I developed. The point is, those days are gone. Now,
we have technology.
Gone are the days of trying to sell your hardware and software with ads that are obviously lying. Now you're able to play all the demos yourself and make your judgment calls. You see, I like a lot of games, but I don't have a lot of money. So there are times that a demo is really appreciated. And to be fair, it kind of helps the developers of the games too. A well-crafted demo can hype up your game and build a following of intrigue. Nowadays, there's even demos that let you carry over progression, so when it comes out, you already have a head start. But in the end, you really just want a demo that just sinks its teeth into you to let you know that your hard-earned money is getting put into something fun. So that's where I come in. Back in the budding times of my YouTube channel, I started a series called Yo or No. This is a rekindling of that series. Now, as some of you know,
you're either perfect or you're not me.
And that means these are my opinions. Recently, I've been playing Yo or No's on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/channel Onward, live Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And these are going to be a rehashing of those videos. Now, seeing as this is a restart, I wanted to set a criteria. If the demo was something that made me enjoy the game, whether it was well made, had interesting moments, or made me instantly upset the demo ended, leaving me in a state of wanting, it gets a yo. If I was playing a demo and got lost, or maybe got angry at the lack of input or content, or just in the state of wanting to get to the end of it since it was so bad, yeah, it's probably a no. And since there are times I'm just dumb and maybe can't make a decision, there'll be a final category. Or this will be the time that I give it a tentative yo or no, maybe let you guys decide the final verdict. Now, since this is the first one, I'd like to talk about a game that set me off to wanting to do this whole project again. A game that had me so excited, I revived a decade-old series of my own creation. And speaking of long old dead things, dinosaurs! Back in 2022, an individual on Twitter would post a well-done animation of a Spinosaurus wielding a certain greatsword. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your last name, but thank you for contacting me and telling me it's at least Gene and not Jean. Gene would go on and create many other small animations of dinosaurs swinging swords. I actually said that right. You could see it was heavily influenced by their love of anime and games, and you could tell he had a lot of fun doing them.
You really think you've got me beat already? If I got a pulse, I got a chance!
You got nothing!
Then in September 2023, Gene would go and show off that those animations spurred the urge to create something more. DinoBlade. Now, while I did stream the demo live, there were some difficulties. For one, my computer is becoming a potato, and with the parts industry as it is, it's going to be staying like that for a while. As for the other, I originally ran this on my hard drive instead of my SSD. Couple that with the lack of understanding that my audio was bugged during the original stream, and I hear wrong. A fatal error. Okay. I had to give it a no. Or I would have. You see, I went back and made space on my potato SSD and recorded the whole playthrough. While I didn't 100% it, I did beat the demo. So let's take a look. As you start a new game, you're forced to play as the inferior reptile of the dinosaur kingdom, the Spinosaurus. No disrespect, Gene, but I just have a dislike of the Spinosaurus ever since.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because...
That said, you do go on and acquire your first of the greatest weapons in gaming, a great sword. Gameplay is akin to modern Souls-like games. You get a light combo, heavy combo, dodge rolls, and guards that all consume stamina. You have a numbered amount of heals till you hit a checkpoint, but that also respawns killed enemies when you take a rest. However, I would say that the fighting has a touch of character action in it. The light combos are long and can be dodged, canceled, and to make sure that you don't overextend them. That said, the heavy is a committed swing and can be performed in the air. Does a slam attack down and does decent area of effect too. As you progress, you'll gain access to skills that you can use your resonance meter with, which is the game's mana or skill resource. These include moves like Meteor Slice, Meteor Dash, and Meteor Zone, which is a freaking Virgil Judgment cut. All that to say, DinoBlade has a lot of inspiration, but I feel like it's different enough to have its own identity. You know, aside from dinosaurs. So now that we have a sword and the basics, we can move on. The level consists of a shadowed canyon. While you can still see it's daytime, the environment is still dark in places, and the fog rolls up from water flowing through the stage. Now, just because you're a dinosaur wielding a weapon, you're not the only one. Enemy raptors litter the valley with katanas, while scythe-wielding carnos either charge or throw their sickles at you. Meanwhile, the Giganosaurus will just have Mjolnir and slam it down at you. The dino diversity really is nice, along with seeing all these weapons. Some enemies are kinda hard to see, but then I forget that we are a Spinosaurus with its Spino size. As we make our way through, I confront the first boss, Kira, the Exile. Kira sports a serrated carapace with huge horns and a death scythe. Now, while this is the first boss, it isn't too difficult. I just need to adjust the wombos a bit. Kira's attacks have combos themselves, and then there's a throw move where the scythe boomerangs back. Dropping your guard a couple times leads you to taking hits you could have dodged or blocked through. As long as you judge your distance and power through some of the chains, you can... Oh. As I was saying, you judge the distance and power through some of the chains, and then you get a death animation that's stuck in the wall. That happens a lot in games. Upon defeating Kira, you gain a boss SP where you're able to finally gain your first skill. For me, I became the storm that was approaching. Also, to rectify not having anything behind the first waterfall of the game, you grab another boss SP behind this one right here. Neat. Going a bit further down the path, you know, bringing Armageddon upon the Cretaceous early, you come across an Anki-like dino being attacked by two raptors. You save the herbivore and claim the glowy behind it, unlocking... summons? Yes, DinoBlade has summon skills to which you can bring out your own companions that do attacks, and then they fizzle away. You then remind the Anki that you are a carnivore and dispatch it immediately. I also forgot to mention that there is a level up system in which you can upgrade attack, health, resonance, and stamina. So after dumping all points in attack like God intended, I make my way through to the second boss, Axe, the pinnacle of the predator food chain. Unfortunately, he's using his namesake for a weapon. Even with a debuff, Axe swings wildly and sports a new mechanic, unblockables. While you can parry his normal attacks, the glowing slam he does needs to be dodged or... yeah. It was during these first few runs I developed an amazing technique. One passed down through my years of gaming and honed through the rigorous training. Scumbag tactics! Simply dodge the slam and slide, jump, and heavy. His recovery was so long, it's a great exploit and one that I punished. And as the finale of the fight was brought to a close, I got to see a beautiful finisher by axing Axe with his axe. It works. It's only by running through this final gauntlet area that you realize how powerful the Spino is. All these skills and powers, along with this ungodly blade of destruction, it makes you feel unstoppable. I mean, is this a challenging game or a...
Oh no! Oh no!
Kaze the Tyrant. Move over, Axe. This is Tyrant Lizard King. Not only is he massive, he's perfected the art of beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker. And by that, I mean, the dude is still alive while he's doing it. I think I'll call him Steve. Kaze barely gives you time to breathe while he slams our poor Steve repeatedly, just trying to bludgeon us to death. Which works. After finally adjusting to the onslaught, I whittled him down to... Steve, no! And now, Phase 2. Kaze is the perfect boss. Scary, oppressive, downright awesome. Using this giant executioner blade and swinging it around, slamming it into the air, throwing it at us, it's just so exciting. I needed to dig deep down and use all my skill through the whole playthrough until... there. Scumbag 2.0. Just dodge to the side and heavy attack. It usually staggered the Rex enough to make him cancel out of his next move. And by the grace of the Greatsword, I finally managed to fell Kaisel. High on adrenaline, a giant rock was my reward. Smashing the spire, you're able to free the Greatsword Ore. Once dull as rock, now sharpened by centuries of war, it carries scars older than kingdoms. A fitting gift for defeating a king. And then, it was over. A thank you and please wish list message along with the end of DinoBlade's demo. Now I'll be honest, I played through this demo months ago. I just procrastinate horribly when thinking of how I want to do a project. But then, while I was making this video, I wanted a refresher of it. I wanted to see if it still held all its praise I had for it. And boy was I in for a surprise. New upgraded UI, redone visuals, updated tutorial room, carrying over progress with the new game, so now I was able to use the renamed Meteorite Sword, which has a cone attack of rock shards when you hit a heavy. And best of all, an intro cutscene.
Such fragile body, yet still clinging on to life. Step forward if you wish to live.
Who is this new figure? Friend? Foe? Played through the whole thing again. Kira still eluded me in seeing its death animation, but after beating it, I found out the summons were replaced with boss summons? You now get to call out Kira as it does its swoop and slash. Axe got bodied again until I got his slam attack. And finally, I fought Kaze again and he still couldn't beat my scumbaggery. And while I didn't get a summon of him, still. Wow. Just wow. In a small amount of time between my first and second playthrough, DinoBlade's already seeing improvements. I want more. What other crazy designs are they going to cook up? What are all these skills that are locked and waiting for full release? What other bosses will there be if our introduction was Kaze? And will there be a way I could be a T-Rex instead of a Spino? Okay, that last one was for me, but still. Now, I feel like it's almost mean to point out flaws with a game that's not finished, but I guess we can call this constructive criticism. Things that I hope get updated, and most likely will. Now, I guess we could point out the UI, health, and resources bar could use some love, but I think the biggest problem I have is this. While I think being a large dino in contrast to having smaller dinos is fun, it's kind of hard to see them sometimes. I mean, you lock on to the small ones, and there's the little targeting dot that sometimes covers their body. I don't know if an outline aura would be more immersion breaking or something like that, but there were times there that the only thing I could see were their vibrant weapons. And everything I'm talking about could still be in the works. There were already things that I enjoyed, like the UI updates and the different colors to the glow of the sword. In the end, we're talking about a dude who just made some fun animations into an actual game. Dinosaurs swinging swords. And I gotta say, it's a missed opportunity to call this game Dinosword. But still, well done, Gene. Well done, Team Spino. I can say without a shadow of a doubt, DinoBlade is a yo.